Welcome to another episode of the Tobago House of Assembly's Post-Executive Council Media Briefing. This week, the Secretary of Finance and Enterprise Development, Joel Jack, and the Secretary of Health and Social Services, Claudia Groom-Duke, addressed the media.
I want to start with the update of the Scarborough Hospital laundry. And I really want to apologize to the populace of Tobago that we were not able to open as planned on Valentine's Day, because it was certainly a love gift that we were working towards. But I want to, as a love gift and as a relationship, as you know, you cannot legislate love. As a relationship, I want to give you the facts, the information that would keep us up to date with the issue of the Scarborough Hospital laundry. Now, you would recall that in October, during the commissioning phase, that the inspection of the steam system revealed that the steam traps, sensory chambers, and insulation installed by the previous steam contractor required modifications. And so the procurement of the required traps and valves was undertaken, and the last set of parts were delivered to the site on the 17th of January. These remedial works to correct the steam lines were then assigned to the steam installation company, Barracuda Construction and Inspection Limited, to begin on January 20th and be completed by January 29th to allow for the retesting and certification of the compressed air and steam systems. And the new steam lines and traps have all been installed and tested satisfactorily. B&C Technologies have been very supportive of the process and have been working with the project manager to have the laundry operational. Specifically, in light of the infrastructural snags that arose from time to time, because as you know, when we commission, it's similar to the Scarborough General Hospital, we leave room for defects, liabilities, and snags. And as you commission, we would take note and deal with the situation. And here I am saying that the Barracuda Construction and Inspection Limited were very, very cooperative, and so the B&C Technologies really gave the support to the project manager to have the laundry operational. B&C graciously extended the terms of their contract with the Tobago Regional Health Authority to allow for the 5-year warranty period to commence once the facility is operational. Right? There is a warranty which they have signed, and up to today we have been keeping in touch with them on an ongoing basis, and I've been informed by the CEO that up to today they've had communication with B&C. The TRHA is also reviewing with the contractor the payments made for trips by B&C to Tobago to complete the commissioning process to ensure there are no outstanding payments. And similarly, payment for B&C's next and final trip to complete the commissioning process has already been paid for has already been paid for in advance by the Tobago Regional Health Authority. So we are categorically saying that the TRHA has made all contractual payments to B&C. Okay? The projected dates for the final commissioning, training, and retraining of all categories of staff are being finalized. The major pieces of equipment that have been commissioned are as follows. The ozone mass recycle unit, the water softener unit, the standby generator, 2 air compressors, 2 150 HP boilers, chemical injection unit, 5 dryers, 5 washers. They have been commissioned. Now, as part of the warranty, which I would read subsequently, it states that the laundry specialist of the supplier must be present for the startup of the equipment. And these equipments are the deep chest industrial ironer, the commercial flatwork ironer, and the Ferrenta equipment. These are not yet commissioned because the laundry specialist has to be present as the staff start up the operations of these equipment. So the presence of the suppliers must be there in keeping with the warranty. I must state that in their letter, the B&C Technologies warranty dated on the 6th of May 2013 stated that the B&C will extend the warranty from the date of commissioning, which is 1.5 years past the scheduled date, and the warranty period of 5 years will begin once the startup and the training is completed. B&C was paid all outstanding retention fees because in that letter on that date, that is the 6th of May 2013, they stated that B&C is requesting that the remaining 10% retention fee will be paid to B&C prior to commissioning of the machines, which is scheduled to be completed by July, pending the inspection on June 15th. And B&C was paid in July of 2013, that 10% retention fee. And B&C stated, B&C is committed to see this project to its completion and will not abandon its duty to continue the support of this project. And so the CEO of the Tobago Regional Health Authority has further informed me that this statement was reaffirmed up to today, the 19th of February 2014, and that the area for commissioning the deep chest industrial ironer, the commercial flatwork ironer, and the Ferrenta equipment depend on the flight arrangement for the B&C laundry specialist. I want to share some information here on the development of programs in the Scarborough General Hospital, and really to commend the team in the kind of work that they're providing to improve the lives of people here in Tobago. The medical chief of staff of the Scarborough General Hospital and his team were able to successfully coordinate with the National Transplant Center at the Eric Williams Medical Sciences Complex to perform a kidney transplant on a 42-year-old male. And this patient was the first person in Tobago who was started on peritoneal dialysis here in Tobago. His blood group was found to be compatible with that of a deceased donor, and rapid tissue typing or cross-matching was conducted and showed a compatible match. The transplant process was immediately activated, and the patient was cleared as a good recipient, and the surgery was done at the Eric Williams Medical Complex, and that was on February the 11th, 2014. And the patient is now resting comfortably. And so the local team comprised the medical chief of staff, who is a qualified infectious disease physician, dialysis nurses, and nephrologists, all working together with the National Transplant Unit under Dr. Leslie Roberts, the lead nephrologist and head of the National Transplant Unit. And so far, 2 patients from Tobago have benefited from kidney transplants. And the program will be expanded in Tobago now with the hope of having donors from Tobago. And so the Office of the Medical Chief of Staff looks forward to working with the National Transplant Unit for more continued success in the area of kidney transplant. I also want to look at the development of the pathology laboratory, and we are pleased to announce that the Scarborough General Hospital's Department of Pathology has started pap smear services at the hospital's laboratory, pathology laboratory. This now eliminates the need to send smears to Trinidad for processing and will result in increased time for reporting and diagnosis of cervical cancer. The staff of the pathology lab under Dr. Hubert Daisley worked very hard at this project over the past month to make it a reality. I really want to commend the team and to assure the people of Tobago that we are moving forward, especially in the global women's health. We will hear more of that in our celebration and commemoration of International Women's Day. One of the physicians will also be going to Canada, and that is in keeping with our relationship with the University Hospital of Ottawa. And that physician will go to Canada to improve on his skills in colposcopy, which will add to the care of women with cervical cancer on the island. And so we, as I said, we will announce more as we are aiming to launch our Global Women's Health Program in keeping with International Women's Day. And finally, I want to inform you of and to congratulate the Public Health Services for completing their white waste collection on the island. I was informed by Mrs. Lloyd Solomon, the Public Health Inspector 4, that the white waste collection exercise was successful. The exercise started in Charlottesville on Monday, the 10th of February, and was completed on Monday, the 17th of February, 2014. And members of the public complied, and I really must congratulate our people out there. And waste was put out on assigned days, and some areas, including Plymouth, were visited more than once because of the amount of waste. All garbage collected was taken to the Studley Park landfill. And so if we need to contact the Public Health Services Department, we can contact them on 639-1433, 639-5294, or 639-3855. I really want to congratulate the team and the Division of Health and Social Services for the kind of progress that they are making in the improvement of the lives of our people, giving them a better health care in Tobago.
I am pleased to announce that the Division of Finance and Enterprise Development, that we have piloted a new system geared towards the speeding up of payments to staff and suppliers of the Assembly. In January, I think it started in December of 2013, over 400 Assembly workers had their salaries paid electronically with the introduction of an automated clearinghouse system, which is a feature of the eFirst platform commissioned by the Assembly through its bankers. The system allows for the electronic credit transfers, such as the direct deposit of wages and salaries, and the transfer of payments to suppliers of goods and services. The automated clearinghouse has been first introduced in the Division of Finance and Enterprise Development and provides a secure electronic network for processing large volumes of debit and credit transactions. It will permit payments to be transmitted directly to and between accounts at all 6 commercial banks. The welcome feature eliminates the need for the majority of cash and check payments, and when fully implemented will greatly reduce the waiting time for payments to suppliers while improving the security of transactions. The staff at the Division of Finance now have the benefit of salary and wages paid directly to designated accounts, so that standing in line to change a check could be a thing of the past. The automated clearinghouse is one important step towards bringing improved services to stakeholders of the Assembly, and the move also fulfills our promise to adopt more efficient systems and processes that enhance productivity. Our stakeholders have all clamored for changes in the quality of service delivery, and the payments processes has come in for criticism in the past, and this is our way of effecting positive change. While the automated clearinghouse will eliminate the need for the manual preparation of thousands of checks each month, we continue to work on the back end of processing to create a more sustainable improvements in our payment processes. The new system also protects the Assembly and its staff from the possibility of fraud and financial risk. It also allows for tighter security control and the reduction of costs. And we're moving next to facilitate payments to vendors. Over the next few months, the operation of this facility will be evaluated and closely monitored, and lessons learned will be incorporated before the service is extended throughout the Assembly. As you'd all be aware, the Assembly has been for some time grappling with the perennial problem of a shortfall of the development funding to meet the expectations of Tobagonians and to fulfill the goals outlined in the Comprehensive Economic Development Plan for Tobago. Historically, the Tobago House of Assembly has been allocated less than 25% of its annual request for development funding. The Tobago House of Assembly, led by Chief Secretary Orville London, has been trying to find innovative mechanisms to overcome this funding shortfall. And this has led, for example, to the financing mechanisms employed under the build, own, lease, transfer, or bolt arrangements used for the construction of the Division of Agriculture complex and head office. You'd also be aware that the Honorable Attorney General attempted to challenge that particular transaction in the High Court. But as you would all agree, better sense has prevailed, and the court challenge has now been withdrawn in favor of seeking a legal opinion from the High Court. The bold transaction is an example of public-private partnerships which are increasingly used by subnational governments like the Tobago House of Assembly to finance their development funding needs. You may recall in delivering his 2013 budget, the Minister of Finance, Senator Larry Hawaii, announced the use of public-private partnerships as a means of financing central government projects. You may also recall that I mentioned where the ministers agreed with the policy of the Assembly for us to engage the use of the P3 model as part of our mechanism to accelerate capital development on the island. The Tobago House of Assembly has been taking the lead in the adoption of public-private partnerships, or the P3 model, and I'm pleased to inform that last January, the Assembly accepted an invitation from the Inter-American Development Bank to participate, along with colleagues from Trinidad, in a conference aimed at streamlining, in keeping with best practices, or implementation of the P3 model. The program on managing social infrastructure, public-private partnerships, was held from February 3rd to the 7th, and based on the recommendation of the Chief Secretary, I attended, and I was accompanied by Mr. Dion Isaac, now Secretary of Settlements and Labor, as well as Mr. Carlos Hazel, economist in the Division of Finance. We took to the conference our unique experience as a subnational government, treating with the implementation of infrastructure projects against national spending constraints. The decision of the Tobago House of Assembly to utilize the P3 model of infrastructure development was justified by what came out of the conference. But we also learned that the Assembly, through the Division of Finance and Enterprise Development, needs to put in place the mechanisms to facilitate greater efficiency as we embark on a new model satisfying the Comprehensive Economic Development Plan for Tobago, lessons which we intend to employ on future projects. I wish to thank, on behalf of the Tobago House of Assembly, the Inter-American Development Bank, who have been instrumental in facilitating the unique needs of the Tobago House of Assembly as a subnational government, and I wish generously funded the Tobago House of Assembly's participation in the program, which was held at the Southeast Financial Center in Miami, Florida. In November 2013, you may recall that the Executive Council approved a policy framework for the implementation of P3 type projects in Tobago, and several projects have been identified and will be executed later in the year. We are now seeking to build the institutional framework to ensure that future projects are handled expeditiously, and we'll report to the people in due course as we outline all these projects and the processes involved. The Tobago House of Assembly and the Division of Finance and Enterprise Development have been hard at work implementing the Comprehensive Economic Development Plan for Tobago. And as you may recall, just about 3 weeks ago, the division, we were pleased to hand out the first set of keys to entrepreneurs who have set up shop at the Signal Hill Mini Mall. The opening of these facilities, including the one at Calder Hall, is in keeping with the Tobago House of Assembly's vision to increase commercial activities in these areas and to support community-based entrepreneurship. These centers will support small and micro enterprises in communities around the island, and by solving in part one of the biggest problems entrepreneurs face, Small business owners are often unable to locate or afford suitable operating spaces. By opening up these centers and pushing for the expedition of a P3 model, the Tobago House of Assembly and the Division of Finance and Enterprise Development, we are working hard to achieve the objectives of the Comprehensive Economic Development Plan for Tobago, which I am sure will be welcomed by all residents of Tobago and all citizens of Trinidad and Tobago.
I know you said that all contractual payments were finalized. When were these payments finalized? When exactly?
Well, I was informed by the CEO about the payments finalized. I would have to get the dates from the TREG for you.
Is it that monies were owed that prevented the opening?
No, there was no owed monies. As I told you, the payment, well, the final payment, this BNC is requesting that the remaining 10% retention fee will be paid to BNC prior to commissioning of the machines. This payment was made last year, July. That payment, which is the final or the retention fee payment. So, that was paid since last year. Okay?
To Mr. Jack, I wanted to know, in terms of, you said the electronic payments are on stream. Is it that we will see no teachers protesting? Will everyone be paid on time?
The goal is as I outlined in my budget statement, first effect payment, improve our payment processes within a 10-day period, a 10-day window. What we have done in the Division of Finance is to first implement the automated clearinghouse first with respect to the payment of salaries. We will evaluate the system over a period of time, and the goal is to roll it out across the Assembly. So that would, in effect, reduce eliminate the need for typing of checks, sending checks to the bank, and also help improve the timeliness of payments to both our employees and to suppliers.
And it has been rolled out where so far? In which division?
In the Division of Finance first. So our employees are now receiving that facility first.
Do you have a timeline for the other divisions?
No, I don't want to give a promise and have it broken, but we're evaluating it now, and then we will take an Executive Council note to the Executive Council to have that system implemented assembly-wide, in keeping with our promise that I made in the budget of June last year.
Mrs. Groom-Duke, is there a new date now set for the opening of the laundry?
It depends on the flight arrangement. It's really about the flight arrangement. So as soon as that is sorted out, we will get that to the media.
Madam Secretary for Health, I notice you use the term laundry specialist. Is that person an engineer?
That person is, yes, is an engineer attached to the company.
Yes.
That must be there in the final commissioning.
Right.
Of the operations.
That person in the country as we speak?
No, the person is not in this country.
When are they due in?
Pardon me?
When is that person due in?
Well, that is what I'm saying, that we are now negotiating the...
Or you're sorting out the issues?
The
that
travel arrangement, because the time they should have arrived, they couldn't.
Okay.
Right? They're now sorting out that as soon as that person is in the island and can oversee this part of the commissioning of those equipment that depend on the steam system.
Thank you for staying with us for the Tobago House of Assembly's post-Executive Council media briefing for the week ending February 22nd, 2014.